Live, that was La Bamba, obviously not the La Bamba that we wanted to hear tonight. A tough loss, Josh, 5-2. Junior Oilers Blue losing tonight. Big game in general with the top two teams in the stand-ins. What were your thoughts on that one for sure?
The better team won in this hockey game. Sherwood Park came out firing on all cylinders, and the Oilers weren't even prepared from the start. And it's ironic that we had head coach Nate Paprini here on the podcast earlier for the pregame, and his team didn't come out prepared.
No.
Everything that he talked about on the podcast didn't happen for his team. His team just wasn't there at all.
No, definitely not.
And they found themselves down by 4 goals after 20 minutes. They found themselves down by 3 just really quickly. And then at the end of the first period, it's 4-0.
Yeah.
It was just all bad news for the Edmonton Junior Oilers Blue. But luckily for them, they have another game tomorrow. So they can hop right back on the horse. And if you're Nate, though, you'd probably be reaming out your team after that one.
Yeah. Obviously, after a big win, they ended up beating Okotoks, Josh, earlier this week, 3-2, and they are the second team in the other division. So they are a really, really good team as well, Josh. It was just really disappointing to see the effort that they put up overall.
Well, here's what I wanted to ask you. Like, do you think it was a lack of effort from the Oilers, or how good Sherwood Park came out?
I think definitely the lack of effort from the Junior Oilers. I mean, we've seen these two teams play twice before. It was a 4-3 win for Sherwood Park the first time, and then a 1-0 win in a very, very close game that could have gone either way here in Bill Hunter the last time they played. And just the lack of being able to get a quick start, Josh. We talked about it with Nate. Just a rough start overall for this hockey team. And when you're down 3-0 in 8 minutes, Josh.
Like that, just super quick.
Yeah, you're playing against a goalie named Connor Knorr, who's got a .950 save percentage and who has dominated your team before. It's going to be a really, really tough time coming back. We saw a lot of frustration come out. We saw some really undisciplined things happen. Just overall, it was not the effort we wanted, and I think you got to give some credit to their coaching as well. And the forecheck, that's the biggest thing in my opinion. They didn't let the Junior Oilers break out of the zone. Mason Renault, normally really, really calm, being able to break it out. A lot of the D struggled today getting it out of their zone and making passes in the guys' skates and stuff. And just the bounces, Sherwood Park was able to handle them and get the puck right back deep in the Junior Oilers zone. And it really, really, really killed the Junior Oilers Blue today.
Yeah, they weren't able to get any momentum, and they weren't able to get anything going in the offensive zone. And the Junior Oilers, they were not doing themselves any favors by getting it out of their own zone. They would make the first pass sometimes. They would make the second pass rarely. That third pass barely ever during this hockey game. So when you're doing stuff like that, but you also got to give Sherwood Park credit for disrupting that flow in the neutral zone. Sherwood Park was not allowing the Oilers to break out whatsoever. But the Oilers, they weren't doing themselves any favors by not getting that first initial pass, that second pass. They were missing tape-to-tape passes on the breakout. And there was only, I could count on one hand how many clean breakouts the Oilers had in this hockey game.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do that against a team as strong as Sherwood Park, you're not going to win. And in this game, the better team won, and the better team was the Sherwood Park Kings, because the Sherwood Park Kings, on the opposite side of that, were clean. They were always breaking out really, really quickly. And they dominated on the forecheck in the offensive zone. And they were all over the Oilers. The Oilers couldn't do anything in defending. So, ultimately, the Sherwood Park Kings, they go to improve with 25 points, and they are in sole possession of first place as it stands right now. And the Edmonton Junior Oilers remain at 23 points. So it'll be exciting to see these teams play again. Tomorrow will be exciting as well, as the Junior Oilers Blue face off with the Orange.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for another matchup between these two teams.
Oh, for sure.
And see what the Oilers do.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell because last game we talked about with earlier with Joel about the puck going through the net, possibly, right? We've talked a lot about on the broadcast on Flow Hockey. There was a really controversial one, and I think Sherwood Park kind of had the feeling, hey, we maybe got this game robbed from us, right? So it looked like they wanted it more.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they probably came out, they're like, we should have won the last game, right? And because of some crazy thing that you never see, the puck going through the net, you never see that.
No.
And yeah, I completely agree. Where they probably were like,
yeah,
we should have won that game.
Yeah, they wanted it,
and they came out in this building, proving that they are number one for a reason. And so hats off to the Sherwood Park Kings for this effort here tonight. And luckily for the Edmonton Junior Oilers, they got a game tomorrow to play.
Yeah,
and,
they got a big game.
Yeah, so they have no time to hang their head, and they got to get back down to business, as you know they're willing and able to do.
The interesting talk, we talked about it a bit earlier, Josh. Ethan Berard getting pulled very quickly. Six shots, 3 goals.
Yeah.
Not after winning Player of the Month, he was really frustrated. I mean, when you're putting up a performance like that after Player of the Month, I would be frustrated too. Most of the goals are not his fault. Be nice if he could make a save on one of those, and that's at the end of the day, you got to pull him to give team maybe a chance in that hockey game, and it was the right decision, I would assume, from Paps. Salisbury was very, very good, Josh, throughout the rest of the game.
Salisbury was the best player for the Oilers once he got put into the game. If it wasn't for Nathan Salisbury, the score would be completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But that's nothing against Berard. Berard wasn't the reason why they were down 4 goals, right?
Yep.
It was his team not playing at all in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm anticipating Salisbury probably getting the start tomorrow against Team Orange, I would think.
The problem is that coming off back-to-back, right, they're going to be here right back at 7:45 around the same puck drop as tonight, and it's going to be a really tough on the team fatigue. They've played a lot of games this week, and right, the fatigue compared to Orange is going to definitely set in. Orange not having the season start they would wanted. We definitely have to talk to Lee about that. 8-6 the last time I checked. I'm pretty sure maybe 9-6 now.
No. When I looked at the standings earlier, partner, they were just a point or two from first.
Yeah.
So they've had a decent week, but yeah, obviously
not the start.
They want nothing but greatness here in Edmonton. The Edmonton Junior Oilers program is one of the best in the country, and you can see why. Throughout all 3 teams that we cover, white, orange, blue, they all expect nothing but greatness. And, the ladies have been nothing but phenomenal.
Sure. Yeah, we're likely going to have Layla Matthew on tomorrow. We forgot to mention Junior Oilers White are taking on St. Albert Raiders, who are also really, really high in the standings as well. They have been very good. Not as good as late, Josh. They barely beat Rocky and then lost to Calgary, which is interesting. So they have not been as good of a team as late, but always a tough task coming into Edmonton. St. Albert has a great program over there.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for the game tomorrow. The ladies they've been killing it, but recently the games have been closer. But when it comes down to the playoffs and whatnot, you're going to have close games. So the fact that you're able to win the close games, when it's not as crucial, that's a good sign for your team. That you can pull out different wins, you can blow out, because we've seen the Team White blow out teams.
Yeah.
We've seen them win in close games. We've seen them win in overtime.
Yeah.
Like we've seen all different various ways of winning. And if you're Team White and if you're Joel, the head coach, that's nothing but good signs there. And so I'm super excited for tomorrow because they're looking to go. What is it?
11-0. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Looking into tomorrow, Josh, in that game. We talked to Joel. He said we need a quicker start. They won 7-1 against the Reign. The Reign dominated that first period, Josh. I mean, obviously not scoring, but like in that first period, he said their team needs some quicker starts. It'll be interesting to see how they can respond to that tomorrow. One more note in terms of St. Albert. I was looking down. Taylor LeMabe, she used to play for the team last year. She went to the St. Albert program, and is leading the league in points. So that would have been interesting to talk to him about. Madison Noman, who was also on the team last year, number 19, if you can recall. She is also on the St. Albert Raiders program. I don't know if one of them tried out differently to a different team or what was the scenario there. But Joel said he went with a little bit of a different team this year, and, I mean, so far it's paid off. But it'll be interesting to see those two players, obviously playing against their former program. They had a great season last year, both of them. So it'll be really interesting to see how they affect the game, especially LeMaeve. She's been really, 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 really good.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one. It always is when these two teams face off against each other. So that 5:15 is the first game we'll be doing. We'll be on Flow Hockey. If you can't make it down here to Bill Hunter Arena. And then game 2 against, it'll be Team Blue against Team Orange. So all 3 teams in action tomorrow.
Yeah.
Game 2 takes place at 7:45 here at the Bill Hunter Arena. I am stoked. We have a pregame tomorrow.
Hopefully with Layla Matthew,
the captain
getting our
Team
first.
White.
Yeah, for sure. But nonetheless, just the last note on tonight. I mean, we said it so many times. Sherwood Park wanted it more. They from the jump they wanted this game more. They knew that the game possibly got robbed from them last time. I think they had that type of revenge in them. They're a pretty good team playing on the road against these two hockey teams from.
It was incredible how they came out, and they played a full 60 minutes. And like I said from the top, the better team won, and Sherwood Park deserved to win. We'll see how the Junior Oilers Blue bounce back tomorrow.
They're going to need to. I mean, they've had a tough schedule. For them to go 1-2, Josh, in this little span isn't the best for them playing the best competition, right? So it can show tomorrow is going to be a big task for them. They got into a bit of penalty trouble as well. We were thinking maybe a suspension as there was a big brawl there in the second period. A bunch of guys getting misconducts, but nonetheless, we got some beer league behind us right now. That's as classic as it gets for this podcast, Josh.
We're all hockey on this podcast, and if you're joining us on wherever you get your podcast, we really appreciate it. Hit subscribe, tell your friends, do all that, hit like, do everything, spread the word.
Yeah,
and,
please do.
We really appreciate you joining us on the podcast and on Flow Hockey.
Yeah, I would agree, Josh. It was a fun one tonight. Nonetheless, we will be back tomorrow with the action. 5:45. The Junior Oilers White taking on St. Albert Raiders, and then we have the Junior Oilers Blue taking on the Junior Oilers Orange. Josh likely will be on the call for both of those for play-by-play, and I will likely be color for both of those. Nonetheless, we will have Layla Matthew on hopefully before, and
hopefully, I'm super excited.
Another player maybe on after whoever wins that hockey game. Nonetheless, enjoy the La Bamba, but it's a sad one tonight for us. Hopefully, we can get some more La Bamba tomorrow.
It's always fun for us, though. Calling the games with you is a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
really
it was a fun day today for sure. Nonetheless, we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully, better La Bamba. Good night.